My grandmother owned a house no one knew about. She revealed it only in her will, and left it to the one person no one expected. My grandmother died at 82, having never told anyone, not her husband, not her 4 sons, not a single person in the family, that she owned a house. She had purchased it in 1987 with her own savings, in her own name, and kept it registered and maintained for 36 years in complete secrecy. And in her will, she left it to my cousin, the one girl in the family who everyone had always dismissed as the quiet one. My grandmother, Patti, we called her, lived in Chennai her whole life. She had married at 19, raised 4 sons, cooked 3 meals a day for 40 years, and by all outward appearances, had no independent financial life whatsoever. My grandfather managed the money, the sons made decisions, she ran the house. That was the arrangement, as it was for millions of women of her generation. What nobody knew was that for 30 years, she had been setting aside small amounts from the household budget. Grocery money rounded down, festival contributions quietly reduced, tiny sums, over decades. She had opened a bank account none of us knew existed, in a branch in a neighborhood she had no reason to visit. And in 1987, when she had saved enough, she bought a 2-room house in a quiet locality in Chennai. Cash purchase, no loan, no co-owner. After her funeral, when the lawyer read the will, my uncles were expecting the usual. Jewelry distribution, a note about the family home, maybe some fixed deposits. Instead, the lawyer produced a property deed none of them had ever seen. A house, fully paid off, currently rented out. The rental income had been going into that same secret account for years, quietly compounding. The property is worth, by current market rates, somewhere around 90 lakh rupees. My uncle sat in complete silence for about 30 seconds. Then came the questions. How did she? When did she? Did grandfather know? The lawyer said Patti had been very clear. No one was to be told until after her death, and the property was to go entirely to my cousin Deepa. Deepa is 26. She's the only daughter in the family. Growing up, family decisions were made around her. When she could go out, who she could speak to, what she could study, who she might marry. She was never consulted. She was managed. Patti had watched all of this for 26 years without saying a single word. And then she did this. There was a letter attached to the will, addressed to Deepa. I wasn't in the room when Deepa read it. She took it to another room alone. She came back 20 minutes later with red eyes and didn't speak for a while. She never shared what it said. I didn't ask. What I do know is that Deepa used part of the money to move into her own flat 6 months later. She's doing a postgraduate course now, in a city she chose. She calls the family regularly, but visits when she wants to, not when summoned. My grandmother never gave a speech about women's rights. She never argued with my grandfather or her sons. She just quietly, methodically, over 36 years, built a door for a girl who hadn't been born yet. I find it almost impossible to think about, without crying. The women before us were so much more strategic than we gave them credit for.